So, this one's 10 things the UK does better than the US. I just did another video. It's actually this one right here, 10 things British do better than Americans. So we're gonna go ahead and check this one out. It's by top lists. Go ahead and give their channel a subscribe if you haven't. Go check it out. Um, Subscribe to my channel also if you like my reactions and stuff. I plan to upload content on a almost daily basis if I, mainly daily basis if I can, but life happens. So um, yeah, let's check this out and see. I've always been interested in the British culture, and England as a country, with the castles and just the history and everything. So yeah, let's see what this is all about.
It's impossible to say which country is the
Which, I would assume that they do mention the paid vacation time, which over there I guess is called holidays. Probably, I don't know, healthcare. I think the healthcare is better over there. Crime rate obviously is going to be better. Just stuff I've gathered from other videos and stuff. So let's find out.
best in the world. However, a case can be made for some countries just being better than others, at least in specific fields. These are 10 things the United Kingdom just does better than the United States.
And I'm pretty sure at one point in time they controlled like half the world. So like, I mean, for such a small country, land area wise, they're massively influential on the world. Very powerful. I wouldn't want to mess with them really. So
Many Americans often mock British people for still having a queen. They often say, "Get with the times, you're not free if you have a monarch.
I think it's
Your tax
cool.
money is just being wasted." Well, the truth is that US taxpayers have to pay more for their leaders. In 2014, the British royal family cost UK taxpayers just £35.7 million, while President Obama and his family cost US taxpayers $1.4 billion in expenses that
Wow.
same year. So when it comes to cost-effective leadership, the Queen of
But
England, ironically, is
we have a higher population here too, so I don't know if that necessarily, I don't know if that factors in or, plays a role or anything like that, but just something to keep in mind. I don't know.
less expensive than the President of the United States. The studies are in, and the verdict is clear. Roundabouts are not only more efficient than US-style traffic intersections, they're also safer.
We're actually getting roundabouts here. There's actually quite a few places that have been putting these in the last, I'd say 10 years, and I don't understand. Everybody didn't, they didn't like them at first and everything. I think that they're a lot better. It makes traffic flow a lot smoother. Yeah, I'm a big fan of them.
Mythbusters even tested this theory, and they clearly demonstrated that roundabouts allow for 20% more cars to pass through in any
Yeah,
period of time than what is possible in an intersection. Another advantage
Mythbusters.
is that in a
If you'd like to see me do any reactions on Mythbusters, actually link that or throw that in the comment section down below. That'd be interesting to do. I used to watch Mythbusters all the time. It's a nice show. I like it.
roundabout, drivers don't have to bring their vehicles to a complete stop.
Oh, that's
This
a
has
hell
been
of a
shown to be
roundabout.
safer for both drivers and pedestrians. So all in all, in this area, the UK has the US beat when it comes to traffic control.
And the double-decker buses, those are crazy. We don't have those here.
The average intelligence of each country in the world is something that has been rigorously studied over the past few decades. Well, the results are in, and quite embarrassingly, people in the UK are smarter than people in the United States. The average IQ of the United Kingdom stands at 100, while the United States falls short with an average IQ score of 98. This may not seem like a lot, but those two crucial points are enough to make the United States fall below the mean European IQ, which is 100. Many people argue about the cause of this, whether it be better schooling or higher standards of living, but the facts don't lie. When it comes
We charge for education. Most European countries do not. So that's probably a lot to do with it right there. nobody wants to go in debt for the rest of their life just to get an education that they're gonna spend 10 years trying to like fight and struggle to even find a job in that field. I mean, that's a big issue. When other countries you can just get education for almost free or cheap compared to us. I'm pretty sure.
When it comes to IQ, the UK is superior to the US. Now that you know the differences in average IQ between the US and the United Kingdom, it probably doesn't come as a surprise when you learn that the UK actually contributes more to science than the United States,
Really?
at least on a per capita basis, which is the metric that divides the number of scientific papers published by a country's scientists and divides that number by the country's population. This results in a number that gives you a good idea of how scientifically productive a country is on average. Well, in this category, the United Kingdom has the United States outclassed. The UK publishes 1.424 scientific papers for every 1,000 citizens, while the United States only produces 0.988 scientific papers per every 1,000 citizens. This gap in contributions in the world scientific community is a point of pride for people living in the United Kingdom, and this is certainly an area where the United States should try to catch up. The United Kingdom possesses the most productive offshore wind farm in the entire world. This world-class installation is the Greater Gabbard Wind Farm, which produces over 1.75 terawatt-hours of clean and renewable energy every year.
Nice.
The United States, and indeed the rest of the world, has nothing that can compete with this installation. In fact, the United States doesn't even have a position in the top 25 most productive offshore wind farms, while the United Kingdom holds the top first, second, and third spots, with Denmark being its closest competitor.
We offshore wind farms, like we have a lot more ocean. I mean, yeah, England's almost entirely surrounded by ocean, but I think our coastline. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I would think that our country's landmass is bigger, that our coastline would be a lot bigger, that we would have the opportunity to be able to just destroy them in that area. But that's crazy.
The UK's superiority doesn't just end there, however. The United Kingdom is the largest exporter of offshore generated wind power, which means that not only is the UK producing the most offshore wind energy, it's also creating enough to supply other countries.
Nice.
Just as with wind power and scientific papers, the United Kingdom is better when it comes to producing authors and great works of literature. The UK tops the charts of publications per capita, with only China and the United States beating out the country in absolute terms, despite the UK's much smaller populations. Overall, the UK produces 2,875 titles each year for every 1 million inhabitants of the country, while the United States only produces 956 titles for every 1 million inhabitants. This is an even more impressive feat when you learn that the UK has only 1/5 the population of the United States. So when it comes to books, the US is still quite a few chapters behind the UK.
Huh. Really?
While it is true that Hollywood is the film capital of the world, and as a result produces more films per year, this doesn't compare to one of the UK's greatest film achievements. The most successful film franchise of all time is a British film franchise,
Really?
the James Bond series. The James Bond series was the first to gross over $1 billion in sales, and is still the highest grossing film franchise. It seems that people still prefer the cool, suave charisma of Agent 007 to the loud action and violence of most American films.
Is Harry Potter, is that a British film or an American film? I mean, I know it takes place in Britain and there's British accents and stuff, but I wonder if it was actually made here or not.
If you're a fan of watching YouTube videos, this is probably the most important category where the UK is better than the US. Despite having invented the
I struggle with the internet speed here. That's crazy.
Internet, the UK has the US outclassed when it comes to average internet speeds. As of 2015, the average connection speed in the UK was 13 megabits per second, while the US only had an average of 12.6 megabits per second. So the next time you're in an argument with a British person on the internet, remember that they probably have you outclassed in internet connection speed. Of the 118 known elements on the periodic table, 24 were discovered by British scientists. This is more than any other country, and further reinforces the case of British superiority in the sciences.
They also had a head start, though. Our country is a lot newer, to be fair.
Over the United States. This number includes crucial elements such as hydrogen, sodium, xenon, and platinum. The US, however, wasn't totally outclassed by the UK, as the country did discover 21 elements on the periodic table, and as a result, earns a very respectable second place.
There we go. Alright. Respectable second place.
This is probably the greatest sign of the UK's importance and massive impact on the shape and history of the globe. As a legacy of the once great British Empire, countless flags around the globe still bear the Union Jack. From Australia to New Zealand and even Fiji, over 20 major flags around the world contain the Union Jack in one form or another.
The Union
Perhaps
Jack.
the most interesting and most humorous
didn't
is that
even
the
know it
number
was
includes the U.S. state of Hawaii,
called
which
that.
prominently and proudly displays the Union Jack. The very first flag of the young United States, the Grand Union flag, even contained the Union Jack as well. While countries such as Liberia and Malaysia have similar flags to the U.S. flag, these are poor facsimiles at best, and are vastly outnumbered by countries, states, and territories that still fly the Union Jack with pride. For more top lists just like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, so stay tuned for more content. Hit subscribe. That way, it's easier for you to see my content when I upload. Hit share. Show your friends. Hit like. Comment down below in the comment section. Um, Help me get this channel to grow. That would be awesome. I'd appreciate it. Yeah, you guys take care.